Exactly. Okay, this is heavyweight MMA. Bert and Toby here to take two and talk about Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. When we met last time, Bert, being the wrestler that he is, chose Ben Askren to take it out. Me thinking that Ben Askren can't punch, took Jake Paul. Anything changed, Bert?
I'm scared.
What are you scared
Yeah,
for?
I just, the closer it gets and the more I hear other people talking about it, and professionals that know a lot more than me are changing their stances, and then I'm feeling less confident in my prediction. So I'm just,
You know,
the
Mike
lack of
Swick,
skill might be real.
did you listen to Mike Swick's podcast? He's fully supporting Ben Askren. He's right on the Askren train. He really thinks he's going to take it.
Is he? No, I haven't heard it. What is his justification for that? Because I have not heard anything like that lately.
Nothing new. To be honest, I started listening and I just didn't feel it. So I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it was basically the idea of the competition he's faced and his mental toughness, etc. You know, the same argument we've had from everyone.
Well, I was thinking today how Robbie Lawler didn't knock him out, and he was wearing the small glove or the MMA gloves. So I imagine Robbie hits a lot harder than Mr. Paul, right? So I
100%.
mean, even if he just unloads on him for a bit, and Askren's a tough guy, he can handle shots, and then third round, Jake Paul's not gonna be the same anymore, and Askren's just gonna keep pushing forward with his awkward punches.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know. I keep hearing stuff about timing and enough power to do the job and stuff that's freaking me out.
Did you listen to Rogan and GSP did a podcast the other day? They started talking about it, and it was blatantly clear that both of them have no faith whatsoever that Askren's going to win. They didn't really say it, but it's so clear, right?
Yeah, I felt like GSP was like, he's like, I really hope he's training. I hope he's taking it serious because it makes us all look bad. It's like they're just sitting there. Yeah, that as well didn't help me because both of them seemed like they were thinking that Askren couldn't do it. And then hearing that Askren's only been with Roach for a week, I was there thinking he was like doing some high level boxing with Roach for this whole time, and he only goes there for a week. It
Yeah.
worries me.
You see those clips when he's training with his coach, and I don't know the guy, but it doesn't make me feel overly confident for Askren the way they're training, right?
I haven't got to see much of it. I've seen some very short clips, but I was listening to some commentary on it, and I heard that he was looking a little bit better with his punches on the pads. But that's on pads. I mean, Ronda Rousey was really good on pads too.
Yeah.
So
You see, I saw the Freddie Roach clip, and he's training with Freddie Roach, and for a second there, I was thinking, yeah, he's punching a little bit better than I've seen him on the pads before, but maybe he does that. And like people are saying, he's like doing it on purpose, that he's showing that he's not very good, but there's no evidence anywhere that he punches that well. So I don't know if he's hiding it or he's been hiding it his whole career.
that would be the real that would be an amazing con if he waited his whole career, held back on his striking for this moment, and then they start up and he just unloads some sick combinations. His head movement's phenomenal, great footwork.
Comes out like De La Hoya snapping jabs in Jake Paul's face. I don't think it's going to happen, man. Yeah, but after the last one, we had lots of people commenting, etc., saying, don't you know about Askren's superior experience? He's quite good at the uppercut, strong uppercut, this, that, and the other. And like you, I'm starting to doubt myself, thinking, what am I stupid, like picking Jake Paul to be the one that wins when there's a world champion MMA fighter on the other side? And I'm thinking, I'm not stupid or whatever. And then I watch like a lot of the footage of Askren, etc. And I guess all these people putting this doubt in my head, and I've thinking about it, and I came to the conclusion that he's still a terrible boxer. So I don't know how you can win. How you can win. Someone's got to be the hammer and someone's got to be the nail, right? Pretty much. And if you can't hammer, how can you win? Again, I've gone back to the same. I've gone full circle. Started doubting myself. Now I'm still thinking, like, how can you win? I just can't see anything of him punching nicely.
I do the same thing, and I feel like I do that with especially anytime I bet on anything. But it's like I have an opinion when it first comes out, and then it gets warped over time, and then I sometimes change my mind. But most of the time, if I would just go with my initial instinct, it tends to be right more times than it's wrong. But
And what was it?
then I convince myself, uh, this one I don't know. This one's I feel like doesn't count, which is even more confusing because none of it makes sense to me. But I felt like initially Askren is a pro fighter. He can take a punch. He's going to be way tougher than Mr. Paul here, who's never really been in a war. And I feel like he's just going to push through. He's not going to be able to get finished. And he's going to end up winning through his just pure being a superior combat athlete in the sense of like his durability, basically. Because I don't think he has superior punching or superior boxing and footwork or timing or anything like that. So everything's against him, but I feel like he's gonna win. I hope.
Yeah.
But I'm really doubting myself because everything I'm hearing.
And to jump into that, like since we last talked about this was that press conference behind me, the picture of Askren palming him in the face, and then Askren copped a little like low body shot slap or something from Jake Paul. But that, I think we can all agree, probably internationally across the globe, that everyone pretty much hates Jake Paul now, and everyone wants him to lose. And he just looked like I don't know, like a little 13-year-old boy up there on the stage talking to Askren, a little boy talking to a man. So yeah, good luck in doing on being popular anyway.
I didn't know him before that at all. Like I knew nothing about him. I've never watched any of his content or anything. I mean, I watched that last boxing match that he had, but that's it. And I went away from that thinking I want him to lose more than any human being I've ever watched fight, I think. Like he was so childish and obnoxious during that thing. It was hard to listen to. I was flashing back to when you're in like fourth grade and the chubby kid in the back is like mouthing off because he has never really been beaten up the way that he should. And he's just like mouthing off and just saying stuff that he thinks is really cool. Like he thinks he's making himself cool, but really everyone wants to slap him. It's like really annoying. I don't know how to explain this, but it was so annoying to me.
And it's a big role reversal because Ben Askren kind of was the guy to hate before. And he's fully turned himself around because of Jake Paul being who he is. And now he's kind of the guy that people like. He's pulling out some funny social media, Rocky clips. He's launched on Jorge Masvidal, telling him that, you know, he made him famous, that it was just a fluke. And yeah, he's kind of turned. Everyone's starting to like him, but it's all pending him getting a win here, right? Otherwise, he'll probably still be very unfavored and disliked.
Yeah, and I feel like there is a huge difference in where we see in like the mental space. You know, going back to that press conference, I was amazed with how mentally weak. I can't really explain this properly. I don't know really how to justify it, but Paul just seemed very mentally weak. Like when he can't even admit. Askren asked him if his older brother had ever held him down or rubbed his face in the ground, and he wouldn't even admit to it. And it's like that to me seems like a person who's mentally weak that can't even admit to themselves, like in their childhood, their brother beat them up. Like holding so much pride that you're afraid to admit that it makes you weaker. And Askren seems so much more relaxed and casual. Like there's a very different mental space going on between the two of them.
True. So you've got that massive void from of the maturity and probably the strength, obviously going to Askren, but then the bits of footage that you see of Jake Paul smashing mitts, even smashing his opponents, even though there were nothing special, like they said, knocking people out, and then in the sparring, knocking people out. That sort of power that he's generating is so far away from Askren's power that he's generating. So there's two massive voids of completely different things. So it's a very interesting matchup. I think it's very polarizing and it's kind of just a fun fight. You know, it's going to be fun to see what happens. Guessing it's going to be messy as all hell. That you've got this weird guy trying to clinch and run into him, and the other guy wants to box, but he doesn't have the skills to really use his range and his jab and everything effectively yet because he's only a beginner amateur level fighter. So very interesting.
What do you think the over under on how many times Askren goes like this and pushes forward and then tries to go the one hand overhook and throw punches. How many times do you think he's going to do that? Over or under 10 times?
I don't think he's going to be allowed to, right? Because obviously Jake Paul's the one running the whole thing. He's kind of his boss, and the ref's going to be in his pocket, right? So he's not going to be able to grapple so much. But then does Jake Paul have the skills to use that range that he does well on the pads and with people that haven't fought before, or on someone that has fought before? That's the unknown question. If he's fit enough, he could just smash that jab down the center for the whole fight and probably win.
Well, I hope he doesn't. And I'll be really upset if Askren comes marching forward right at the beginning and he like eats an uppercut and like staggers him or something dumb. I just feel like something bad's going to happen. And I'm going to be like, now he thinks that he can beat up world champion MMA fighters. And this is literally like the only one that he'd be able to do this to, because Askren's stand-up is literally the worst of anyone that's ever probably fought. So it's
the only benefit if he does smash Askren, it would be that he might get overconfident and then maybe shoot above what his skill level is and then just get destroyed.
Well, that would be great. And that's what I think. I don't know if I said this to you or someone else before, but yeah, if he wins this fight, I feel like he's going to keep shooting upward, and he's going to definitely get beat up in his next fight, unless he goes for Danis. Then I don't know much about Danis or his stand-up, so maybe if Danis' stand-up is really bad as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
but he's getting into this rough water where he's going to get on someone soon. That's he's been, but before he called out Poirier and McGregor and a few other guys, like that's just a different game. I will be certain.
His brother also mentioned that Jake Paul is like advertising himself, that everything he's doing is trying to antagonize and get more people watching, etc. But he does it so naturally. He's so annoying naturally that I don't really believe it. I think he's just naturally that sort of annoying guy that, acting like he acts like a little teenager, right?
I feel like that's the exact same excuse that people use for Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz when they say, oh, no, they're geniuses at marketing. No, I don't think they are. I think they're really dumb and things work out for them because people buy into this thing that they're playing the 4D chess, and really they're stupid. And
we're getting back to your hatred of the Diaz brothers. You still won't admit that Diaz is going to destroy your boy next fight, right?
I don't even remember who he's fighting. I can't. Who is it? Remind me.
He's supposed to be fighting Edwards, right?
Oh yeah, Leon. Yeah, Leon's gonna piece him up.
You really got faith in him. Cool. All right, I think that's probably enough talking about Jake Paul and Ben Askren. We won't subject anyone else to more of this.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for the time, bro.
All right. Askren.
Jake Paul, you.